Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirecTV 348, Sling, Roku, and Apple TV.
Mary had a little man. The fault.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe it.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
All right, we're going to go through the actual hearing, play the audio from the hearing. I think Adam Schiff did the best job of questioning. Everybody else sort of fumfered around, stammered around. We needed, Barry Burke. But this hearing today wasn't very, very, very long. It was about 3 hours. I'm sure most of you saw it. But we'll just break it down and go through it with you, with us today to refresh, right? Because what has happened here is so violative of having free and fair elections in this country. It was an abuse of power, and there was a cover-up. Again, and you know what you need to remember about July 25th, that date? The day before, July 24th, was the day that Mueller testified. And so Donald Trump felt like, he didn't lay a glove on me, I'm going to do it again. I mean, it's just, this is so bizarre. This is so crazy. I mean, the whistleblower complaint says that an unidentified White House official tried to cover up the call. That's like Trump trying to hide racism. You can't do it. But these people need to come forward. But before we get into the actual audio of this, where Adam Schiff is just beyond, he's beyond belief. Like, who was supposed to investigate this? You're in charge of the whole intelligence community. I mean, and you go to the actual subject of the complaint. You go to the guy who's being accused of crime and fraud. You go to the guy who's covering up crime and fraud, and you ask him what you should do with a crime and fraud complaint where he is the subject of the. It is so bizarre and yet simple in the deviousness of it. But I just wanted to say that I did not think that we would get one more match day. Tomorrow is the end of this was our very first pledge drive for Free Speech TV. And I didn't think we would get another match day, because we had two and they were both good. And I'll give you the totals when we're all done. But we got a guy, I don't know why he's, so nice to us, but Andy in San Diego, thank you so much. He has decided that he will match whatever you do today for Free Speech TV. This is not for us. This is for Free Speech TV. Up to $10,000. I mean, that's freaking amazing. So if you made like a $150 donation today because you love, see, I never wear this because I wear headphones, but it's a very good looking Randi Rhodes cap. So that, I'll autograph that for you for $150 is what I'll do. But that will actually be $300 to Free Speech TV because Andy will match it. Anything that you do up to $10,000, he will match today. So go for it. Just go to freespeech.org or call them up at 877-378-8669. Tomorrow is the last day of the pledge drive, and I'm just delighted that we made it through. I had never done it before, so thank you very much for your support in this. All right, let's go through the actual testimony. Here is Adam Schiff. I mean, Adam Schiff was amazing. I can play a little clip of Devin Nunes just so you could see the lack of seriousness in that party when it comes to protecting and defending the United States of America and the sanctity of our elections. They don't care. All right, so here's Adam Schiff asking, and this is what Gary in Fort Lauderdale was alluding to. He's asking this Joe McGuire dude who's been on the job for 6 weeks, why did you go to the White House first?
And so the first place you went for advice as to whether you should provide the complaint as the statute requires to Congress was the White House.
I am not authorized as the Director of National Intelligence to provide executive privileged information. I think it is prudent as a member of the executive branch to check to ensure that, in fact, it does not.
I'm just asking about the sequencing here. Did you first go to the White House to determine whether you should provide a complaint to Congress?
No, sir. That was not the question. The question was whether or not it has executive privilege, not whether or not I should send it on to Congress.
Okay. Is the first party you went to outside of your office to seek advice, counsel, direction the White House?
I have consulted with the White House counsel, and eventually we also consulted with the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel.
And my question is, did you go to the White House first?
I went to the Office of Legal Counsel for advice. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm asking which you went to first. Did you go to the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel first, or did you go to the White House first?
I went to the office, my team, my office, went to the Office of Legal Counsel first to receive whether or not the matter in the letter and in the complaint might meet the executive privilege. They viewed it and said, we've determined that it appears to be executive privilege. And until executive privilege is determined and cleared, I did not have the authority to be able to send that forward to the committee. I worked with the Office of Legal Counsel for the past several weeks to get resolution on this. It's a very deliberate process.
Well, Director, I'm still trying to understand the chronology. So you first went to the Office of Legal Counsel, and then you went to White House counsel?
We went, and then to the, repeat that, please, sir.
I'm just trying to understand the chronology. You first went to the Office of Legal Counsel, and then you went to the White House counsel?
No, sir. No, sir. No, we went to the White House first to determine, to ask the question.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know is chronology. So you went to the White House first.
This guy, he's so above his pay grade. This is so unbelievable that this is the man. This is why we were making fun of it. You know, acting director of DNI. This guy's not been confirmed by the Senate. This guy self-admitted that he's not up to this task, that he shouldn't have this job. And you know, Dan Coates ran out the door and took Sue Gordon with him, literally pulled her out of a meeting having to do with something that the Director of National Intelligence has under his or her jurisdiction, which is foreign interference in U.S. elections. And this guy, this numbnuts, goes to the White House to say, do you want to claim executive privilege over this? Because you're named as somebody who's, engaged in crime and fraud and abuse of power. Do you want to claim executive? That is the dumbest move I've ever heard in my life. And it just shows you that this guy didn't and doesn't know what he's doing. That is dangerous for the United States of America on every level you could possibly imagine. You have a president who's talking about North Korea. You have a president who's talking about bombing Iran. You got a president who's talking about Afghanistan. You got a president who's going to meet with the Taliban. This is our DNI. This is the guy. This is him. Oh my God. Be frightened. Be very, very frightened about that there. Okay, that's number one. Number two, what in the world did he think the White House was going to say, since the White House is the subject of the crime? The law does not say that the DNI should go to the White House. The law says the DNI shall provide to Congress. That's really crazy.
The second place you went to was the Justice Department. And you went to that department headed by a man, Bill Barr, who was also implicated in the complaint. And you knew that when you went to the Department of Justice for an opinion, correct? That Bill Barr was mentioned in the complaint?
What could go wrong?
Mr. Chairman, I went to the Office of Legal Counsel in consultation with the ICIG. He was a part of that to receive whether or not this met the criteria.
Yes, but that ICIG vehemently disagreed with the opinion of the Bill Barr Justice Department, did he not?
That's Atkinson.
He still considered it a matter of urgent concern. However, as you know, opinions from Department of Justice, Office of Legal Counsel are binding on all of us in the executive branch.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's appropriate that you go to a department run by someone who's the subject of the complaint to get advice, or who is a subject of the complaint or implicated in the complaint, for advice as to whether you should provide that complaint to Congress? Did that conflict of interest concern you?
Mr. Chairman, when I saw this report and complaint, immediately I knew that this was a serious matter.
So I went to the people named in the complaint as subjects of the abuse of power and wrongdoing and asked them, what do I do? Yeah, he's a brilliant intelligence operator, this man.